When you're trying to grow your hair, everyone suddenly becomes an expert. I've heard so many hair growth tips over the years, and honestly, some of them are just big lies and wrong. So that's why today I want to share the worst hair growth advice I've gotten so that you won't fall for it too. Hi my loves, welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome. Here in this channel, we'll talk about relaxed hair care, hair growth tips, protective styling, and anything hair related. So if you know you're interested in this type of content, please consider subscribing to join the family. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the worst hair growth advice I have ever heard, and without further ado, let's just get started. So the first one I'm going to be sharing with you guys is trim your hair every month to make it grow. Like, I can't count how many times I have heard this, where some people say trim your hair every month. Some even take it so far by saying trim your hair every 2 weeks. Guys, that is just plain wrong, and instead of retaining length, you are going to be losing inches. The purpose of trimming your hair is to get rid of damaged ends, to get rid of split ends. If your hair isn't damaged, if your ends aren't split, there is no reason for you to trim your hair. And honestly, trimming your hair every month is not necessary unless your ends are damaged or your ends are split and you're trying to get rid of those split ends. But if that is not the case, there is no reason for you to be doing that, because let's say your hair grows about half an inch a month and you are trimming off 1 inch every month. What do you think is going to happen? Instead of retaining length, your hair is going to be getting shorter. So that is why before you carry out a trim, make sure that what you are trimming off is split or damaged. So before every trimming routine, check your ends, check your hair. Are they split? Are they damaged? Is the trim necessary? If your ends are perfectly fine, like after examining them and you see that they are fine, there are no split ends, and they look perfectly healthy, there is no reason to trim your hair. I always say that the duration for your trims is not set on stone. I don't believe in trimming at a regular interval, like every 6 months or every 6 weeks or every 2 months. I always say trim your hair as your hair needs. Okay, so that could be as fast as 2 months, and that can be as long as once a year or even once in 2 years. I usually trim my hair once a year because I don't just see the need for me to be trimming my hair too often. So if your ends are really damaged, like they are really bad or they are really split, and you want to get rid of that gradually, you can trim your hair more often. But if your ends are perfectly healthy, there is no reason, absolutely no reason for you to be trimming your hair every month. So before you pick up those hair chairs, girl, make sure that what you are getting rid of is actually damaged. So moving on, another bad hair growth advice I've heard is that the more you grease your scalp, the faster your hair grows. First of all, things like grease, oils, heavy butters actually seal in moisture and not necessarily moisturize your hair. So before you apply any form of oil or grease or any form of heavy butter on your hair, make sure that your hair is already moisturized, and that's where things like leave-in moisturizers or even something as simple as water comes in. After moisturizing, you can go ahead to seal with an oil or a heavy butter. Now that is for your hair strands. When it comes to your scalp, you want to avoid anything heavy. When it comes to your scalp, you want to avoid heavy butters, heavy oils, and lean more towards light oils, because when you use heavy products on your scalp, they tend to clog your follicles, and instead of promoting hair growth, it's going to negatively affect your hair growth and the health of your hair. Now, doing this alone is already a risk factor for your hair to be damaged or for your growth to be affected. But then it becomes even worse when someone is saying that you have to do it more often, like the more you grease your scalp, the faster it grows. Says that is just wrong. You should try to avoid anything like heavy butters, heavy oils on your scalp as much as possible. And even when you use light oils, you shouldn't do this more often than necessary. Okay, you guys realize that we have natural oils from our scalp, right? Like our body naturally produces oils, our scalp produces oils, which is capable of traveling down your hair shaft and moisturizing your hair. So piling products upon your scalp every single day, especially when they are heavy products, is going to negatively affect the health of your scalp and your hair by leading to build-up, clogging your follicles, resulting in itchy scalp, dandruff, negatively affecting your hair growth and the health of your hair strands. So sis, in order to avoid this, make sure you only oil your scalp when necessary, and you lean toward lightweight products. Moving on, another bad hair care advice I have heard is that you can't grow long hair if you don't have the genetics or you are not mixed. And honestly, this is so popular to the point that whenever some people see others with long hair, like people who might have gotten that through like hard work, consistency with their routines, using the right products and all of that, they toss it aside and attribute everything to genetics. Like they believe the sole reason why their hair looks like that, while is that long, while is that healthy, while is that full, is because of the genetics. Like it's because it runs in the family or they are mixed. And guys, this is not true, okay? Even though genetics may affect some things when it comes to your hair, for example, genetics can affect how fast your hair grows, so that's your hair growth rate. It can affect your hair density, it can affect your coil pattern, it can affect your hair type and all of that. But when it comes to improving the health and length of your hair, that is going to be based on your products, on your routines, on your consistency, on your patience, on what you do on your hair. So guys, having long hair does not equate to being mixed or having the genetics for that. Whatever your genetics are, whatever your hair growth rate is, whatever your coil pattern is, or what your genes originally are, you have the power to create a healthy routine, to pick the right product and get your hair longer and healthier to where you want it to be. So sis, it's not genetics, it's just that you are too lazy to do your part. Moving on, another terrible hair growth advice I have heard is that to grow your hair faster, you have to shave it all off and start over. Like guys, where did this even come from? Like I have heard so many people say this, like to grow your hair faster, or if you want to kickstart your hair journey or get longer hair, you have to shave off everything, like get a cut and start from a clean slate. I have seen so many people say that they have cut their hair off like over and over, shaved it off so many times, and yet they are still not getting the results they need. And honestly, how will you get the results you want when something that you should have been using to create a regimen, to test products, to experiment, and to create a routine, you are getting rid of it? You don't have to shave off every hair on your head before you can get your hair longer and healthier. In fact, the hair on your head currently can be a starting point for your hair growth journey, no matter how small it is. You can use it to test products, you can use it to experiment with routines, experiment with protective styles, and experiment with different things before you finally get something that works, which you are going to eventually stick to. It is called a hair growth journey for a reason. You are not going to get the result you wish for just because you just woke up one day and decide to start afresh and shave off what you currently have on your hair. If it is not damaged, there is no need to shave it off. Okay, so instead of shaving off everything, just trim off the damaged part, trim off the split ends, and work with what is left. With what is left, you can experiment with different things before you finally see something that works, because you are not going to magically get good at taking care of your hair or magically now know what products to use or what is compatible with your hair just because you shaved it off. In fact, you are going to be doing yourself a great disservice, because you are going to be starting over again and again and again as you keep shaving it off. So instead of that, trim off the damaged parts and work with what is left to build a regimen. So moving on, another bad hair growth advice I've heard is that tight hairstyles grow your hair because they will pull it out. And guys, they are not wrong, okay? They are going to really pull it out, like pull out your hair strands, including your follicles. But what they are not going to do is grow your hair. So many people believe that tight hairstyles tend to pull their hair from their roots and lead to more new growth. And yes, they are going to pull your hair from the roots and pull it out from your scalp and even damage your follicles in the process. On the contrary, tight hairstyles do not grow your hair. They lead to breakage, they lead to hair loss through what is called traction alopecia, because of the excess traction, the pulling, the tugging on your follicles and on your scalp, which is going to result in your hair strands pulling from your scalp, from the roots and away from your follicles, and may even damage your follicles. Like it's even possible of leading to long-term damage. So sis, tight hairstyles do not grow your hair. In fact, they damage your hair. Moving on, another bad hair growth advice I've heard is that you must stick with one product line. And this is not true, guys. If everything from a product line is working for you, fine, you can stick with that. But if it's not, you don't have to be loyal to one line. You don't have to be loyal with one brand just because one of their products is working. If a shampoo from this line is working for your hair but the deep conditioner is not working for you, instead of getting rid of everything, you can continue to use their shampoo but use a deep conditioner from another line that works for you. So you don't have to use everything from one line just because you like one product from that line. Like most of my products are from different lines. I use shampoos from VO5, I have deep conditioners from Awesome Oils, from Afro-G, I have my Living Moisturizer from Prophetic Mega Growth, I have my Heat Protectant from Silk Elements. So you don't have to use everything from one product line, especially if it's not working. If everything from the line is working for your hair, fine, you can stick with it. But if it's not, sis, experiment with different brands. Try products from different brands. You can mix and match until you create your own bundle, like something that your hair loves, and stick with that. Okay, so no, you don't have to stick with one product line. Okay, so moving on, another terrible hair care advice I have heard is that you can repair split ends with products. And honestly, so many people believe this, like so many people believe this even up to now, that you can repair split ends with products. Guys, once your ends are split, they are split. There is no product you want to use. There is no deep conditioner you want to use that is going to fix it. Deep conditioners can coat it, can deceive you and make it feel as if your ends are healthy, like by coating your hair strands and all of that. But sis, it's not going to get rid of the split ends. The damage is still there, and if you don't trim it off, it's going to travel up your hair strands and lead to more splits, more damage and breakage. So sis, once your ends are split, they are split, and the only way to get rid of this is to trim them off. There's no need holding on to hair that is damaged or that is split. Once they are split, you have to let them go. The deep conditioners you use, the products you use, are only going to help and deceive you by making it look healthy and by coating your hair strands and all of that, but it doesn't fix the split ends. The split ends are still there and they are still going to wreak havoc. Okay, so in order to avoid this, once you see your ends are split, make sure to trim them off and don't rely on products, because no product is going to fix this. Okay, so yeah guys, those are some of the terrible and worst hair growth advice or tips I have heard over the years. And I want to know, did you guys believe in any of this previously? Let me know in the comment section down below if you believed in any of this and which of them did you actually believe in. So yeah guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you are new here and you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing to join the family, and don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notified whenever I upload a new video. So yeah guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.